Scotty, cut the music. Cut the music. We don't have time for music.
Why? What happened?
I don't. Look, we got a lot to talk about.
Oh,
this is the season finale of Discovery.
It's the big,
It's the big 1-5. It's episode 15 of Discovery. Hi, I'm David. This is Federation Conversation, episode 14. And you're Scotty. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just pointing out the "Will you take my hand" on the screen. I actually remembered to update it for this episode. So.
Will you take my hand? Episode 15 of Discovery. Season finale. So, if Jason Isaacs is correct, we're going to have to wait until 2020 to watch more Discovery. But I think he might be joking. I'm not sure.
Was he serious? Did he say something about it?
He said on Twitter that, I can't believe we have to wait until 2020 for another episode. But he's always joking about stuff, so I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I could imagine it taking that long. When was the last Game of Thrones season?
Oh yeah, they're making us wait an extra long time for more Game of Thrones. I'm not really.
When did Westworld come out?
And that's another one. Yeah, all these shows.
It takes ages to make TV nowadays. If you want to make good TV, it takes ages.
I've only just
and
noticed.
You only get 10 episodes.
They're stretching out the production and giving us worse shows. Not a big fan of this trend. And
yeah,
if the
I want
first
to go back. I want to go back to TNG. 26 episodes a season.
And they're all great.
Half a year.
Most of them are great. Some of them are.
I don't care if some of them are shit.
If season 1 of Discovery is anything to go by, I don't care when they're back on the air, to be honest. I really...
You're not a fan. I'd say, are we summing up the entire season?
Well, this is our opportunity to sort of say, as well as what we thought of episode 15, how did we feel about the show? As a standalone 15 episodes of television, and I have to tell you, not pleased. The 15 had quite a few of the things that I hate the most about Discovery. Sort of some,
I'm looking forward to this, because I didn't mind this episode too much, although there are a few things that kind of just stuck out. Okay. Which, I mean, I could say that about every episode so far, because I think I say that at the start of every show.
Well, what did you like? I mean, Shazad Latif, to the end, a classic actor.
Look, one of the things that sticks out to me as bad is that he's not on the ship anymore. He left at the end of the season. I'm sure 100% he's going to be back, but...
So what's the subtext of the scene of him? He's going away at the end. Is he going to get killed by Klingons? Does he just want to be with Laurel now because he can't be with
He's hanging out with Laurel. Because I don't know why he's hanging out with Laurel. I gotta go back. I gotta go to Molor.
I'm still not quite sure what the deal is with him. So he's Ash Tyler now, but he has Voc memories.
He still has Voc's munted body.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's his body.
Yeah.
But now, it's Ash Tyler's brain, personality and memories. And as an addendum, he also has Voc, like DLC, he has Voc's memories as well.
He has an addendum now. They put that into his organs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Klingons have an extra one, so.
Yeah. You need two. Oh, yeah, what was it, the Vulcan with the 2 piss streams? Now, is that canon, or was it...
Do you mean Klingon?
Did I say Klingon?
You said Vulcan.
Well, it was a dark alleyway. I couldn't tell what I was looking at.
Maybe he just had an issue, like, sometimes you pee, you got split streams. Maybe it's just that.
Yeah, anyway.
Or maybe Jadzia Dax was really into, a little...
I thought the thing with Klingons...
Little column A, little column B.
I haven't read a lot of Star Trek novels, but I know my mum used to read them in the 70s, and the thing that I remember from those is that they might have, 3 nuts, but I can't remember if that was ever...
Well, look, there's one line somewhere in early Star Trek, I don't know if it's in the movies, the TOS movies, or in early TNG, but they said, Klingons have redundant organs. And so, from that point onwards, they had 2 dicks, 2 hearts, 3 butts, it doesn't matter. If you want to add something else to a Klingon, it's canon.
It's open season. They've probably got 6.
So apparently they have 2 dicks. Apparently Worf was double dicking Jadzia that entire time.
No wonder she was had that look on her face.
Deanna was into it as well.
Jesus.
And Esri was. Everyone.
It's a wonder he wasn't more popular with the crew on TNG though. He should have just been crawling with action.
Yeah, maybe as security chief he kind of toned it down a little bit. But
I'm on duty.
The double dick action. Does that mean Kayla had 2 vaginas or something? Or do they... I mean, this isn't really important. But it is important. Do Klingon women have a vagina and a butt, or 2 vaginas and 2 butts? And how do they do it? Can they get pregnant in the butt? See, all these questions are being arisen by that one shot of him peeing in the alleyway.
I didn't mean to, set this off. I'm sorry, David. I didn't mean to, set you off down the Klingon genitalia rabbit hole.
Just like when Worf made that one joke on Trials and Tribulations when he said, we don't talk about it. You know, you just set off a whole bunch of canon questions. You know, people want to know the answers.
Christ. There's that particular strain of Star Trek fans that's like always saying, oh, now, are we going to find out why they have smooth foreheads now? I'm wondering what they would make of the finale. Are they like, well, how does this really tie in with canon? Why does the Enterprise look different? It's like, you fuckers!
One thing, I mean, before we get into the nitty-gritty of why the episode was bad or good...
Yeah. Well, it's bad. Sorry.
Okay, no. I'll... Look, this is where I'll vent about the Enterprise.
Okay.
Okay, I'm adjusting my nerd glasses.
It has vents now. They've added them.
There's vents. There's vent right through the nacelle. There's a vent, so the nacelle juice gets out.
I actually want to watch Trek Yards, see how they break this down. Okay, so let's have a look at the starship.
I never watched Trek Yards, so I don't know how... I wouldn't know how to
I hate those
compare
guys.
that to a normal
I hate that show.
You don't like that show?
No, I love that they do it. I hate that it's successful. You can't do a podcast where you talk about the episodes, but you can do one where you talk about the ships. How does that?
The ships? Come on.
Anyway, what were you going to say?
Okay, anyway. I've been reading a lot about Star Trek.
Yep.
This past day. Since I watched the episode, obviously. I see a lot of people arguing for the ship, saying like, you know, the refit is fine. I don't know why people are getting so upset about it. It looks fine. It looks so close to the original. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing anyone actually saying, this refit looks dumb. It's too different to the original. Oh, they've just thrown out all the continuity.
Oh, okay.
So it's all these people, you know, arguing against nothing, basically.
Okay.
But I think if anyone's upset about this episode, right, and about that particular part of the episode where the Enterprise shows up,
yeah,
it should not be because of the visual look of the Constitution class, because I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful ship. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. It looks a lot better than the one that they made for the movie. Fuck.
I'm not even that fond of the Constitution class generally, because I'm not that fond of TOS. Hey, look. I'm not that fond of TOS generally,
Big
so I'm
call.
not that fond of that ship generally.
Double big
But
call.
this is a beautiful ship. Yeah. But anyway, the reason I'm mad is because they fucking showed it in the first place.
Oh, you think it's too soon?
It's too soon. It's the end of season 1.
I think it's probably...
Look, if you think of this in like... imagine this goes for 7 seasons if it does.
It won't. It won't.
At the end of season 1, they decide to bring in the Enterprise and Pike and Spock.
Well, here's the thing. I think they'd probably like to do it later, but they had to do it soon. No,
too soon.
They're shooting it soon because they know they'll lose people if they don't. Like, because I mean, they would have lost me basically.
Really?
If I was just a passive guy watching this show, not into Star Trek, I wouldn't watch the next season unless I knew something big was coming. Like they've turned like, well, no, I would up to a point I would have, but you know what point that was? That's when they killed Lorca. Like. I'm sorry. I mean,
look, I get it, but a lot of people are saying, I mean, it's getting rave reviews, not by us, but by a lot of people. So it's not like they're thirsting for viewers.
Look, I
assume a lot of people are watching it, except in America where they can't watch it.
As far as rave reviews and big success goes, I think it all stems from telling people what they want to hear. And this show has that in buckets. I mean, you've got the scene where Michael Burnham shows down. She has a showdown with the Admiral on the hologram. She's like, "That's not who we are, it's Starfleet," and then they all stand up together. It's like, for fuck.
Saru stands up and, "We are Starfleet."
I mean, I am sure there are people that get off on that shit, but I'm not one of them. not.
Sorry, I kind of forgot how many times they did that in this episode. So.
I needed to remind you. I mean, it's if you could pick a scene that's completely anti-Scotty and everything he stands for, it's probably Ensign Matumbo and the chick with the side-shaped head, and they're all standing up looking very tough. It's like, yeah, this is not Scotty.
When they're getting their medals?
Oh, they did it again. It was so funny. In the medal giving scene, what I thought was the last word of Burnham's speech came out of her mouth, and instantly the next person starts talking over her, and it was sort of like the Oscar ceremony where the music cuts the people out. But then I realised it was an editing thing. They were actually showing her speech in amongst people getting the medals, and it was a lot less funny. But still, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, I was like, why do these people keep interrupting her valiant speech about, "We are Discovery"?
And also, two things I hate is Michael Burnham's speeches. They really are like, I mean, could you just get a blog, for fuck's sake? And second,
Yeah, she did a speech at the start and a speech at the end, I guess. Yeah.
her literary readings, whether it's reading Alice in Wonderland or she's reading about the Old Knight, and then the Old Knight said that she stretched that one like a pro. How long is this book?
Probably longer than the passage of the ship.
And the way it was being presented, I actually thought it was going to go somewhere, like it was going to be in 5 years' time and she's reading it to a kid or something. I don't know, like there was going to be a point. But there wasn't. It was just her thinking aloud. I mean, look, guys.
You don't like Michael Burnham's monologues?
Not a bit.
That's true. No, I don't like him either.
Look,
to be honest.
A complete concession to Shaniqua Martin Green and everything she's done with the character. Look, there are some moments that worked in the show, and I can, see eye to eye with what they were trying to do. And I'm not going to say she's unilaterally bad, but definitely not for me.
I don't think she's a bad actress. After this season has ended, I don't think she's a bad actress.
Yeah.
But I think there was certainly times when she just made the character very unlikable. And it might have been direction. Probably was direction because the director is in charge of that. But
I'd pretty easily put it down to the artistic direction that the show wanted to make her go in. Like, I'm sure it's not all her fault. Like, she just, actors don't write the fucking scripts. But anyway.
Yeah. So you don't like all the lovey-dovey Starfleet. That's not the Starfleet way.
Again, I think it's
not how we do things because we're in Space Fleet.
I just think it's telling people what they want to hear, and this is why we have a generation of people that think it's all right to argue with police. No, you can't breathalyze me. It's like, just play ball.
That's not the Starfleet way.
Show them your license. Get on with it. Anyway.
I do. The way the Klingon War ended.
The way the Klingon War ended. Yeah. Sorry.
It's a little. I mean, the first dissatisfying thing about it is that apparently that starbase that got destroyed was hovering above Earth.
Yeah.
Which is not 100 AUs away from Earth.
Well, I mean, I've had a week to get over that. I'm not
going to bring that up again. That's fine. Yeah. Bad writing on one episode is fine.
Yeah.
But the Klingons were like about 100 meters away from just blowing up Earth or something. Like they had a whole fleet just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, what were they doing with it? Now targeting, aiming the weapons, getting into firing range. You know when in Nemesis,
Earth is coming away behind the moon, like the Death Star.
Yeah, in Nemesis when Shinzon's big transformer ship's turning into a big death wing. Oh no! Get ready!
Up every wing.
It's ready to fire. The wings are splitting. Yeah, that was a bit stupid.
And then they just kind of fly away.
And I'm not entirely satisfied with how this is played out. She's kind of said to the 24 houses, "Oh, by the way, I've got a death bomb and can blow up Kronos whenever I want. You're in my house now. That's all." And it's really not the soundest foundation for a new empire. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just...
It's not. Something about just the way the story got resolved kind of annoys me. Like, L'Rell suddenly has the power to blow up the planet. Yeah. And suddenly decides, we're not going to fight the Federation anymore. I think I'll just rule under the threat of blowing up my entire home planet, and everyone will follow me because
Well, I understand
What's so weird?
I understand what they were trying to do with the they showed her clemency and that snapped her out of it. And she's kind of like, maybe you guys aren't so bad after all. Maybe we don't need it. But then again, with just the way she was talking in the prison, so it's like, no, that's the all humans. The war will go on forever. It's like.
She was a little bit sympathetic at times.
Yeah.
And she was kind of...
Even to death! Sorry.
I think she was very involved. She was very dedicated to T'Kuvma's message, which was... all of a sudden, I was just talking very seriously for a second.
T'Kuvma's message, yeah.
Very dedicated to T'Kuvma's message, which is remain Klingon.
Yeah.
And the way they were, fracturing all their houses, just... It wasn't true to that word because he wanted to unite the houses under that banner, and obviously fighting the humans wasn't doing it. And I don't think she had much against the humans generally. And the bridge obviously of Ash Tyler and Vok, kind of helped her. I mean, I kind of get it, but I think the bomb is just stupid.
I was just glancing at my notes for a sec, and here's something else that I found was pretty dumb. As I was watching the show, Georgiou gets into the prison cell, beats the tar out of L'Rell, like, just goes to town, and then Burnham says, "Wait, there's another way." Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, I remember now. We have a guy that's basically Klingon who could just tell us where to go. You can stop beating L'Rell now.
Whoops. Shit. I forgot about that.
And the beating didn't look convincing, because even if it was just...
No, that's the thing about this show. The choreography in this show is so bad that, like you can't even convincingly beat up somebody in a prison. Just tighter angles or something, or just...
Either way I look at it, it's unconvincing, because if it's in-universe, I just don't think that a human could beat up a Klingon like that. But then, in real life, it's just crusty old Michelle Yeoh trying to beat up somebody that has, like, 6 inches of latex protecting them. Like, they wouldn't have felt a thing. Oh, come on, you bastard! It's like...
It's just when Michelle Yeoh, especially, when she does an action like a punch or a kick, she just kind of steps back and like, oh, that was a good take. It completely ruins the flow of the action.
Couldn't they get somebody who looks like better or doing it, like Lucy Liu or something? Like, she would look amazing doing all this shit. She's done it in the movies before.
They could have got fucking what's her name from what's her name? Linda Park.
Linda
Is that
Park.
her from Enterprise?
She's from Enterprise. Well, you don't really want to use the same actress twice in. I mean,
I'll just make her really old.
No.
No, I'm just fucking around. The things I loved about this episode.
Yeah.
We're not done with the things I hate, but one thing I loved about this episode was obviously Shazad Latif. He's such an... Look.
Should I play romantic music whenever you talk about Shazad?
No. I hated the Klingons at the start because they're all very slowly... I don't mind it as much anymore after kind of what's happened. Like, I could probably go back and watch it with
the setup,
an open mind.
The setup scenes were grueling.
So I thought all the Klingons were just going to talk like that throughout the show.
Yeah.
And still, some of them in makeup still kind of... But Shazad Latif is such a natural Klingon... Klingon speaker.
Yeah.
It does such a good job with the language. You know?
I'm a fan of Shazad. His voice just cracks me up. I feel bad that I can't...
I think I know how to play this game. I think I'm pretty good at it.
Volk was a great gambler. I want to give his scenes a more serious chance, but I do spend too much of my time laughing, unfortunately, because his voice is great.
And he gets so excited when he starts playing the game. Oh! Oh, I'm gonna beat you up. Yeah.
I have to watch that scene. I have to watch that scene again now. But I like the look of the Klingon game board. We have to make one, like a full playmat, so we could play Klingon dice in the alley.
Yeah, like big chunky dice. They're like this big.
Yeah, that's what.
I don't know what he's playing. They're playing like, what are they playing?
Domjot human. What Domjot's that one with the little pool cues and the.
Domjot's just pool. Yeah. That's the thing about the games that they introduced in
the games
all
of
of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because it's just normal games, but like it's got a twist. You know?
I think we should. I mean, to just drum
like
up a little.
Dabo is just roulette.
To get a little more interest in the Star Trek stuff that we do, I think we should do listicle videos. Maybe top 5 games in Star Trek.
Top 5 games. Yeah, Number 5, The Game. From the episode The Game.
A classic.
Starring Ashley Judd.
We need 10. We need top 10 because there's so many.
Top 10.
Yep.
Oh, shit. The Game from Move Along Home, Deep Space Nine.
I did write this down, but you also reminded me of it. The ultimate cameo. Clint Howard as the Orion.
Clint Howard
con man.
as an almost dead person, because he probably is.
Oh, hang on.
Okay, no. I saw a picture of each of his roles in Star Trek. So I had him as the baby, and then him in Deep Space Nine as the crazy old guy.
Oh shit! Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I'm invisible," and then he was a Ferengi in Enterprise.
Yeah.
And then him down there, and he looks like a corpse. Not just because he's green, just because he looks like a corpse.
I gotta ask, because you know more about the Mirror episodes statistically than I do. What is it with the Star Trek trope that everyone from the Mirror universe is gay or bi? Is that?
I don't know how to.
How is there not more
gently?
I don't know. How come there's not more LGBTQI blogs saying Star Trek is perpetrating a horrible trope here?
I mean,
isn't that what they do?
Honestly, honestly, in Deep Space Nine, they're all just like sex kittens, and they're all lesbians as well. Or they're all bi at least, and nobody really talks about it.
That's what you want. I mean, I want the Cold Door to be bi.
You know, when you take away all those inhibitions of
sex,
normal, the normal universe where people have values, you turn into a lesbian. So.
Well, it's our values, David. I love people that talk about values, like in serious, just like they're not kidding around.
I guess in some way it's like
it's our values.
They're using sex to get, as like a power play kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Like the old demo discs from the Macintosh. No, I suppose that's a way you could look at it without it being inherently anti-gay. But, it was the 90s.
It was the 90s, yeah.
Tattoos, and,
Fair enough. All right. Okay. I don't like. I've said this already about Captain Lorca with his incognito disguise as a trench coat, but when they all get dressed up to go to the planet, fucking hate it.
They all wear trench coats.
Why are they all dressed up?
I don't get why they can just go down to the planet.
And there's a war going on, and Shazad Latif starts talking Klingon to people, and nothing happens. It's like he's one of the enemy. Like there's a war.
Well, he can talk Klingon to people. That's fine because they're on Kronos. But these three obviously Starfleet people. I mean, I don't know. One of them was the person that started the war. So I assume that they know who that person is a little bit. I don't know. They were very obvious. And I suppose they weren't like walking up to the High Council or something. They were just in like the doldrums on Kronos, where all the Orions are.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I sounding too serious when I'm talking about stuff?
No, I like the word doldrums. It's a perfect description of like the marketplace. I like the marketplace.
But it felt a little silly. Yeah.
I like the marketplace more than the cantina.
Marketplace is good. There was a Trill apparently. Getting a GIF tattoo.
There was SETI Alpha slugs somewhere.
I saw a picture of that as well.
Yeah.
I
didn't see a picture, but I saw them.
There was also one of those beer tents, but it had a Romulan logo on it, so they were probably selling Romulan ale.
Ah.
But I thought Romulan ale was illegal.
I'm trying to dance around the subject of why I hate this episode so much.
Just say it.
I've kind of already said the episodes I didn't like. I mean, the parts I didn't like.
Yeah.
But just an underwhelming. I mean, it's the last episode, and they've already nutted really hard in the big mirror showdown with the ship blowing up, and it's kind of just the last two episodes felt a bit by the motions, and just continuing a story that I'm no longer invested in at all.
I mean, that's the thing about that mirror episode.
Yeah.
After they saved every universe, everything else kind of just feels a little less important.
The ones I wrote down was, I think I'm good at it. Vok is good at it. Decent gambler. You're like, is that what he says? I have to watch it again now.
He says, I think I know how to play it. I think I'm pretty good at it. At least Vok was.
Oh, and Tilly's spitting out the Gormagander. I think when you...
Space whale.
When you've invented something as funny as Gormagander, you got to use it at least twice. You're going to get your money's worth. Where did...
There was a lot of comic relief from Tilly. I don't mind it.
Well, she's better at being comic relief than serious. Like, I don't like her serious scenes where she's all sort of autistically trying to tell people that hang in there, you'll be okay. I worry all the time. It's like...
I mean, I don't mind any scene she's in, to be honest.
She's alright.
I think the rest of her character's fine too. But when she's... I mean, it was a little bit heavy on the comic relief. Like, every line that she had, pretty much. But, it was fine. I think she does a good job of it, at least.
Part of my problem with this show... First of all, I just want to ask, where did Michelle Yeoh get a corset from? Like, did they have them in the whorehouse, or what was the deal?
Yeah.
She's just a corset now? Okay. All
like,
right.
you just had sex, and now you're wearing a corset?
Was it just
you're
there?
relaxing after sex in a corset?
Part of the problem with this episode is me. I forget what's happening in Discovery from week to week. So I got confused when they were like, let's beam the ship into a tunnel, and then we're beaming down a landing party, and it all just seemed like really, I mean...
It was a little around,
overly elaborate? Like, what are they... Why did
they... A little bit, like, they beamed into the planet.
Yeah.
To get to the planet without being blown up.
Okay.
I thought they were going to map out the planet or something from
Yeah,
inside,
I thought they were
but
gonna.
apparently not.
Yeah, I don't know.
So then they had to go to where Shazad Latif said,
The
where
shrine.
there's a hole that goes to the volcano.
Yeah.
But when they already they already went to the inside of the planet. Surely there's a hole somewhere there. Or, I don't know. To the inside of the planet, isn't there volcanoes? And...
I gotta ask: was Clint Howard gonna just cut the thing from her wrist, or was he gonna cut her arm off?
Which thing? What was on her wrist?
Oh, she was like handcuffed to the case so that nobody could take it off her.
Oh.
I don't know. It'd be much funnier if he was
I think he was just going to take the case.
It would be much funnier if he just went for he's like, fuck this. This isn't cutting. You know what will cut?
I'm Orion. I like that line.
Yeah, but
He said, "What are you doing?" I'm Orion.
and I kind of just want to talk about. I mean, I saw one blogger. This is before I stopped looking at things, so I just formed my own impression of the episode. One person sort of talking about the genocide plot, you know, how there wouldn't be like a bigger fuss about it being a thing that the Federation would never do and all that stuff. But just strategically, I want to talk about how this is really, it's not a slam dunk plan. Because say you're playing Masters of Orion, and you have most of the galaxy is yours, and someone blows up your homeworld. Now, it's very sad. You had a lot of factories there that you loved very much. But at the end of the day, does it really fucking matter? Like, you know,
I do want to counter that.
you can lose your homeworld. I think
how many planets do the Klingons have?
most of the map.
No, how many planets do they have? How many colonies do they have? I don't think they're dropping colonies, and not in like a Master of Orion way.
Oh, okay.
In a
So
Star Trek way.
we're no longer talking about Masters of Orion. Okay, although I don't know.
Because I think Masters of Orion is a nice analogy sometimes, but not in this case because at your homeworld there's going to be a lot more people.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be like 90% of your population maybe or something. But I don't think they're dropping colonies on the way to Earth or whatever. I think they're just taking shit over.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
You know, maybe they might take over a space station every now and then, but like it's not. They're not dropping millions of people on the planets. You know.
Fair enough. I'm not entirely sold on the strategics of, you know, blow up Kronos and we win. You know, I mean, I think.
Oh, it's like when Vulcan gets blown up and they're like, oh, there's only 500 Vulcans left. It's like, where the fuck why are you all on one planet?
We were meditating!
The Federation's been going for 100 years. Why don't you guys spread out a little bit?
Think about all the dust falling on the Vulcans while they're meditating in the chambers. Well, what the hell? Oh, my yoga mat! Ah!
They're running out and that one guy gets crushed by the big pillar. Do you remember that scene?
Oh, maybe. Oh, those films. I really want that. Okay, whatever happens with Star Trek next, I want the JJ universe thing to end. It's a failed experiment. I think we've pretty much...
Honestly, I think it already has ended. Because... I said this today sometime on Reddit, for some reason. The first two films...
Were shit.
They focused way too much on the canon. On, like, previous, you know, TOS stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where they remade Wrath of Khan. Which...
Yeah.
I still don't really get. So why did they think that was a good idea at all? But they did it, and, you know, we have to live with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had fucking Leonard Nimoy coming up for 3 seconds on Skype, you know, to be there. Because they had to tie it back to the original series. And then finally they decided, well, I think we've made a name for ourselves now. We can make a film that isn't tied to the original series so much. It can have its own story, its own villain. And by that time, everyone had already quit. And the movie wasn't that good anyway. Like, I think... I think Beyond is probably the best of those three films.
I liked it more, but...
Simply for the fact that it's not tied to the fucking original series and it's got the alternate universes. You know, fuck that shit. But it was also very cliche and kind of stupid, you know.
Yeah. I thought the actors...
The bad guy who was angry at Starfleet who wants to kill all the humans.
That's the thing,
He's got the Doomsday device. And it's got the savage young woman who has to help them out. And she, you know,
who can't talk properly. Yeah, it's a trope.
Sexy savage.
It's a trope I really don't get into. I mean, I thought the actors all had a better handle on things by the third movie, but yeah, it's a dead experiment.
But just by that point, everyone had seen Into Darkness, and nobody cares anymore.
Yeah,
it wasn't that exciting. So I think it's over anyway. On that note, Scotty, who do you think is going to play Pike and Spock?
Yeah, the first thing I said to myself was, oh, well, good, they've got another year to figure that one out. Like, I don't know how long it takes to make the show, but...
Are they going to bring back Bruce Greenwood? Is it going to be too confusing to have those actors?
I just want to say, it's not going to be people from the movie universe. Not even.
Yeah, I think so. I do think that would be a little bit too confusing.
They're too old. I mean, they were probably too old 10 years ago.
I don't think Bruce Greenwood's too old.
He is. He's too old. Captain Pike, in his prime, was just
wasn't the Star Trek movie set like 10 years before TOS anyway?
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, but it's not that much time.
It's enough.
Look, they're pretending that.
Trust me,
Michelle
no,
Yeoh
I
can,
don't
like, karate chop the fucking Klingon, but
I can't show you the timeline and have it all. But I'm telling you, they are too old for the role, and if they're in there, it'll look dumb as hell.
Okay.
This is how I see it.
Okay. I mean,
That's
Bruce Greenwood was a bit old for the role anyway, wasn't he? He was all kind of weathered, like, I'm Captain Pike.
Maybe. I mean, he worked as a mentor character, but I don't know. Like, there would... Stop making me think about the JJ movies.
Zachary Quinto is about this wide now, so I don't think it'll work.
I gotta say that the episode did give me one thing. I just looked at the notes. It did give me one thing I really wanted.
What?
To finally see Earth. Hey, Benjamin, come on down and have some of my shrimp.
But they didn't show the Creole restaurant.
But yeah, we got a little glimpse of the Federation that we've been fighting so hard to protect.
I don't know why they've half buried the Eiffel Tower with like highways, like the highways going like halfway up.
Yeah, hang on.
So it's kind of pointless to be there.
At what century are we going to say about historical cities? Look, we love it the way it is, but we have to build more. We just can't stop. Put them up, the skyscrapers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think eventually the Eiffel Tower is getting smaller.
It's like in the
in comparison to everything else.
In Bicentennial Man, what they did was they made the Twin Towers twice as tall. Which, I mean... Ooh.
Well, I mean, they had to rebuild them anyway. Was that before or after?
It was before.
Oh. Was it?
Yeah, by about a year.
1999? 2000?
2 years, yeah. There you go. I was confused as hell because there's a shot where Sarek is talking to Michael Burnham, but his mouth wasn't moving.
Oh, is it?
And then in the next shot, you see what he's saying to her. Like, there was just a weird editing choice where...
I don't know if I saw that, but the one thing I did see in that scene, Scotty...
Yeah.
...was Sarek barely containing, like, laughter or something. Like, why was... He was being so emotional. It was like, hey, Michael Burnham, looks like I'm going to give you a promotion now. And he was so happy about it.
I am so...
Are you not Sarek?
Sick. I am so sick of Star Trek, Enterprise and onwards, not understanding the Vulcan thing. Like, how hard can it be? Even Tuvok was a better fucking Vulcan. I mean,
I mean, when he had an issue, it was because, or when he was emotional, it was because of an issue. Like he lost all his memory and he wanted to make cake and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to play Calto.
I mean, it cannot be that hard to get them right.
But he had like a smirk that entire scene. I was like, what? I don't feel like I'm watching a Vulcan.
Yeah. No, well, I never
He looked happier than fucking Amanda did.
He's never been a good actor. I mean, Sarek, I still think my take on season 1, Sarek sucks. And that whole storyline of him being her dad. I don't like how she calls him father. He's not your father. You're adopted. Get over it.
I was kind of warming to him after the episode where he fell unconscious and he was like, his appearances after that were kind of a little bit better. But I still think the whole thing is kind of pointless.
I just found his coma in the shuttle episode so bad. I don't know.
Like, I guess they needed to have, if they wanted her dad to be a Vulcan.
Yeah.
They needed a Vulcan that, was a crazy guy who, kind of subverting the cultural expectations. And they already had Sarek, who had already, married a human, so I guess they had to use him. Otherwise, it'd be like a Sarek clone.
He should have been...
this guy is just like Sarek. Why didn't they just use Sarek? Yeah.
He should have been Cyborg. It's me. It's Cyborg.
The whole show should have been about Cyborg. Or...
I feel so
bad.
Mean
Dad should have been Cyborg.
I feel really bad that he's never going to get mentioned again.
He might do.
They won't. I mean, they like to pretend the fifth movie didn't happen.
Obviously, I mean, And at the start of the next season, they're going to have Spock and Sarek and Michael Burnham together. I mean, they're not going to just ignore that. So they might mention Sarek. I mean, they might mention Cyborg.
Yeah.
Just in passing, you know, they don't have to show him. They just have to. It's me. I'm Cyborg. They don't have to show him or anything.
I think they should stick with that intro because that's really the one that works best for him. It's me.
Did he actually say that?
He says that when he sees Spock again.
Sorry, I haven't watched that movie in a while.
I just want to say there was one very funny scene when L'Rell goes back to the Klingon Council to give him the big offer. And she says it, and they all laugh. And at that moment, L'Rell knows what it's like to be laughed at by a volcano full of Klingons. I love that bit. It's just like, but the thing is, they see the cavern where you can't really see the Klingons, but then the shot that they choose for representing Klingons is like 4 guys in front of a blue screen going, oh.
4 guys standing there, separately blue screen, going,
It's so astonishing to me. Sometimes this show, the visuals are alright, and then sometimes they're so incredibly weak. Like the shots of Earth.
Yeah, that shot was really shit. Like,
and
they
Jupiter
had
and
full
stuff.
body shots of these Klingons.
Yeah.
Just kind of standing there going,
And at moments like that, I'm just like...
It might have been 4 of the same guy, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention.
It's really like, fuck, they must have had a deadline or something.
Yeah, and those shots zooming in, well, they definitely had a deadline. I think when episode 3 aired, they were still doing visuals on episode 5 or something.
Oh, fucking hell. Well,
so they were really against the gun just because of how kind of... there are a lot of shows and movies and stuff that are just having shit, like, disastrous productions.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing? Or am I just noticing it now?
No, it happens. It's an
Rogue
old...
One,
It's a classic.
Han Solo,
Yeah. Oh, God.
Discovery.
See,
all
everything's
these
fine.
things
We're fine.
I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that one out of the volcano.
I'm betting no.
What was I going to say? Sorry, the visuals of the planet zooming in and out at the start.
So shit.
What the fuck are they doing? Like, I don't know. I felt like I was watching a fan film or something.
Yeah, the solar system is only 200 yards wide, I think, because the way it's like, and the planets are all lined up for some reason. It's like, fuck you. It doesn't look good.
And Scotty,
Yeah.
I'm sure you read this, but when they're zooming out of the shot of Kronos blowing up, first off, I didn't think it was going to just blow up the entire planet. I thought it was going to like do a natural disaster or something, but apparently the whole planet's just going to explode.
It's in the simulations.
No, Scotty, it's in the simultations.
Oh, was
because
there a
they had
typo?
the word backwards and it was a typo.
Was there a typo? Really?
It's in the simultations.
Oh, I hope they don't fix that on the Blu-ray.
There are apparently a few typos.
I think there was earlier in the season. I can't
what the other
remember.
ones are, but
Yeah.
put a little effort in, guys.
We've already talked about the ending and Pike and stuff. I just want to ask you personally, where did you call it? Like, how soon before it happened did you call it? I mean,
to be honest, I did. Like, in the back of my mind, it was there,
Yeah.
but I honestly didn't think they were going to go for it that soon.
Oh, okay. Because I
End
swear,
of season 1.
in like the podcast before this one, we were like, "There's going to be the Enterprise in the end, isn't there?" Like, or maybe we said that off camera. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Shit, I hope I said it in the podcast.
I might have just buried that thought because I only was like, oh, god damn it, when they showed the NCC 17 and then it cuts out.
Who's it going to be? Yep, suspense.
I thought they were gonna double take it and do some other random shit, but no.
I didn't call it right away. For me, it was, we're going to Vulcan to get your new captain. And I'm thinking, uh-oh.
Yeah, that also annoys me. Why the fuck isn't Saru captain? I know he just got promoted like a year ago or something.
What's a Kelpian?
Commander.
What's a Kelpian got to do? To
They're not giving him the captaincy. They got rid of Shazad Latif.
I'm still not happy about
gone.
that. I mean, and Lorca. I mean, I
The
don't
way
want
this season ended, I'm not too happy about. 'Cause
honestly,
yeah.
This doesn't bother me, but I know what all of the Orville people are going to be saying about this show, and that is, oh, so there was only one white guy on the show and you killed him. One
Yeah,
straight
people are
white guy.
saying that,
I know they're saying that. For me, it doesn't affect me that much, but at the same time, I actually liked Lorca. Like, I mean, and now that's gone. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's the new trope, Scotty. It's bury your whites. Bury your white straight man.
oh, I'm cool with it, but at the same time,
Yeah, I
did they
don't-
have to get rid of one that was actually good? Like, I mean, it's the first time I've ever seen Jason Isaacs in a good show. He's gone.
The only other thing he was in was Harry Potter.
And now we're stuck with Dkembe Matumbo and the shaved head woman looking at each other whenever anything happens. You ever see that shot, the classic shot of the two people looking at each other?
Yeah. I also hope.
Yeah.
You know, they ended the war.
Yeah.
I hope they don't get medals at the end of every season because it's going to lose its significance.
I don't think they really earned them.
I mean, they had a huge ceremony, and every character got a medal. I was like, well, now we're watching a show where all these people they got medals. It's like they don't really have to prove themselves anymore, do they? They did it.
Have you ever stopped to think
they
about?
They peaked. They're not going to get any better.
Have you ever stopped to think about how ridiculous the Oscars are? These people put on their own. It's like throwing your own surprise birthday. You just put on a party and give yourselves medals. What the fuck? I mean, it is.
Who runs the Oscars though? Who runs the Oscars though?
The Academy.
The Academy, but they're not making the films, are they?
But it's the ecosystem. They're dishing out their own rewards. It's just like, hey guys, guess what? Come on down to the what's the name of the theater? The Kodak Theater. Come on down. We'll just make awards for ourselves and just hang out and have a big party. It's absurd. And I think the Federation's really gone down the same road with this whole medal thing. Like,
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it back.
You can't just give awards, the Surak Award of Peace. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Was that one of them? The Medal of Honor.
I feel like the first Kelpian who gets a Medal of Honor should be captain. Who's the captain going to be? Is the captain going to be? Are they going to find Lorca or?
I mean, what would Lorca be doing?
Prime Lorca?
Lorca Prime Stakes. And here's the thing, I mean, Saru can't eat the medal. You know, give him a command, for God's sakes. Don't give him a Medal of Honor. Give him the job.
He can't eat a command either.
I mean a medal. He can't eat a medal.
I know. No, but he said he can't eat the medal, give him a command. It was like...
He'll eat more when he's in command. It's part of the pay structure in Starfleet. You get more replicator rations. The captain gets like 3.
Do you?
Yeah, I've looked it up.
That's why she was using it on coffee all the time. She had extra.
That was one of the first... Did I talk about this in the podcast yet? It was one of the first things I saw that pissed me off. Was one of the writers for Discovery saying, oh, we have to figure out how to get around this replicator thing because it's just an endless printer of stuff. It's bad for stories. And it's like... It's not.
No, it isn't.
If you know about energy expenditure, it's actually not something that you could just spam. Just keep on giving yourself stuff because one of the most energy-intensive things in Star Trek is the transporter and the replicator because of the transferring of matter and energy and all that shit.
Yes.
So that shit would be locked down. You could not just use it frivolously the way Deanna Troi does.
Hang on, they said it was like a big issue that they had to write around?
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, how do you have a problem when there's just a thing on board that can print whatever you want all the time?
We have things in our houses that can print things all the time now. I mean, I don't, because they're expensive. But
but my point is...
There's been like at least 21 seasons where they had just replicators that make whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you were going to pretend for a minute that it was a real universe, there'd be a limit on it. Like,
that's like 500 episodes where they didn't
and
have
this
the
actually
issue of
does
running around the replicator.
Now that I've mentioned Troy, this does raise the question: does she just print junk food and then sacrifice real food because she's used her ration, or what's the deal?
They don't have rations on the Enterprise. Look,
they do. They have to.
No, on the Enterprise D. Look, this is a top of the line flagship.
Okay, not rations, but like an upper limit. Like you've replicated 500 of them. You can't do that.
Look, first off.
I
don't think she's replicating 500 slices of cake. Secondly,
she is. Have you seen her?
She's senior staff. I'm sure they get more rations if there's rations.
See, the pay structure comes. It all comes back to the little man gets nothing.
I mean, yeah. The cadets on lower levels, they're scrounging.
So you're saying
they had to share a pie between the 4 of them.
So she could print like 5 apple crumbles and Lieutenant Barclay only gets 2.
You know the reason those cadets were friends with the bartender in Lower Decks? It's because he gave them free drinks.
Fuck.
They don't get drinks otherwise.
Under the table.
Your rations.
Fuck.
Was he the bartender? I can't remember. Maybe it was a barber.
I haven't seen all of TNG. I walked in on an episode in the kitchen.
You know the episode though.
That was being watched. Oh yeah, I know the episode. Picard was playing flute in like in a Jeffrey's tube with some chick. She's playing an unfolding.
Yeah, she's got a
rollout piano.
Yeah.
I've never seen this. It was amazing.
It's the future.
Yeah.
I can't remember what episode it is. I think it's one of those archaeology heavy episodes.
Oh, no.
like I remember that scene. I'm like, oh, I should watch that because he plays the little Rysican flute. Exactly.
Very beautiful stuff. David doesn't like inner light.
It's one. No, it's just very grating in the ear.
Sorry.
It's one of those episodes where they do a callback to something in TNG when they don't usually do it.
Yeah. No, I found that was
like he spent all that time in the Rysican probe, and then in Generations he just snaps his knee while he's trying to find that stupid photo album.
I need to get through my course.
Get all this shit out of the way. Oh, this priceless. Plays the rock music as he's destroying everything. Oh, the crystal.
Give me that hydro wrench.
Not now, Molly.
One of these things I talk about sometimes is how annoying it is for a show to tell you what's happening, and you can figure it out because you're not a complete dummy. And then after you've already figured it out, the show will repeat it so that the dumb people in the audience will get it. It makes me feel like an elitist to point this out, but I was watching the end of this show, and Michael Burnham, they're waiting for the ship to come up, and what ship is it? And Michael Burnham goes, it's the Enterprise. It's like, for fuck's sake, we know! I figured it out, you fuck! Captain Pike! It's the Enterprise!
They have to say it, because, there's gonna be some people who are watching.
Yeah.
They know the word Enterprise, and they know Kirk and Spock.
Yeah.
They don't know much else. They might not catch on immediately. You have to say it's the Enterprise, Yeah. She doesn't have to sound so excited about it, because the Enterprise didn't do anything yet. It's not even a special ship.
Yeah, I don't even know.
They're acting like, whoa, it's the Enterprise from the TV show. Nothing's happened yet.
It did seem very dramatic for a ship that, their only mission so far was probably that one where they went down to the zoo planet and got those guys with the big heads. That wouldn't have made them famous.
Look, are they excited because it's the new, wow, we haven't seen a Constitution class yet. Oh, it's sweet.
They're excited because it's the only other ship left in the fleet.
Yeah.
Everything else
what were they doing during the war?
Exactly. Nothing. What the fuck was Enterprise doing?
Nothing.
Captain Pike, I'm in charge. Anyway.
I did want to ask, I don't know if you remember, you said you didn't remember much from previous episodes, but
I'll try, I'll see.
Did they do a Tom Paris on Shazad Latif here, where they made up an interest that he had previously?
The water ski?
Just for the purpose of not water skiing, just boats in general.
For
the purpose of the episode.
I just love how Michael Burnham is so non-committal and bored sounding when she says, "Oh yeah, you have a boat."
I love those lines as well. Just watching the episode, just relax watching the episode. It's like, oh yeah, they're just talking. And then all of a sudden he says, it's like a dog on water skis. And she goes, what does that mean? And she goes, I don't know. I like water. I just made it up. I like water skiing.
I was kind of like, what show am I watching?
And then she goes, I know, you have a boat.
And for somebody who's going to have a tearful farewell with him, it seems kind of like it's kind of weird. She's like, I've had enough of him. Just get out of here. Yeah, I know you've got a boat. Fuck off. I hate you. And then when he decides to piss off with L'Rell, all of a sudden it gets emotional. I have no future in Starfleet.
Well, she didn't think he was going to leave.
Oh, she thought he'd be around for a lifetime being her punching bag. So she was like, whatever.
No, when I look in your eyes, I see you. Just you.
I don't see Vuk.
Just you.
I thought the end of music was pretty well done.
No, but I hated it because it drove home the fact that wow, we're doing this already. Yeah, look, we're going to US.
It was extremely incongruous and is it fan service? Is that the term?
It's definitely fan service. Yes.
Laying it on very thick, just spreading it.
It was so thick because you end the season, it's like, okay, we're gonna go see the Enterprise, and then they go, ba, remember this, da, 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 da. It's like the issue that I still have this issue with the opening credits because for a while I wasn't watching it because I just skipped it.
Yeah.
But I don't know the entire song because I just did that one bit, but for the opening of the show. But I like the theme of the show now.
Yeah, it grew on me.
Except for the bit of the start where it just the bo, bo, bo. Like it's. Sorry, I was doing Voyager there. You know, it goes off key, and it's like, oh, this is like TOS, but it's a little bit different. And then at the end, it does the TOS flare again, and it's like,
and they jam it in.
You don't have to do that. Why'd you have to do that right at the end?
I don't know. I mean, look,
every time I think the show is going off in a direction where it's like, oh, okay, it's kind of turning into its own thing. It's like, mirror universe, mud, Enterprise.
I get what you're saying, and it's
Stark's back.
I get what you're saying, and it's more than I would put in if I was magically making a Star Trek show. But I've seen it carried to a far worse extent with the J.J. Abrams movies. So I mean, I'm not like in pitchfork territory.
I'm starting to have a conspiracy theory where
Whoa.
the J.J. Abrams movies were just there so that we would accept this more, because it's a more drastic visual reboot. It had way more fan service and shit like that. So by the time we get to this, and they make the Constitution class pretty much the same, just a little bit different, you know, like a little bit updated. It's like that looks great.
So
it looks just like the old ship.
So you're saying
because we're comparing it to the Kelvin, you know, update, and that one looks stupid.
So you're saying that the movies were there to mollify dumb people like me into sort of liking.
Yes, it was an insidious effort to make Discovery popular
and palatable
8 years afterwards.
This is
by going in a drastic direction and remaking TOS and, you know, just making us be used to it, you know?
Like most conspiracies, David, this one's really sounding very elaborate. And I'm possibly a lot more than the Endgame really justifies.
Really?
Yeah, just slightly. Just put it.
I think it makes sense.
I haven't figured out how Elon Musk figures into the big conspiracy yet. Like, I mean, what's he got to gain by faking a space mission? SpaceX, look,
Don't ask. I mean, if he can launch the rocket up and then land the two boosters, like, automatically, like magic.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could launch a car as well.
You'd think so. But anyway. Discovery, the big wrap it up. I mean, I'm not totally serious when I say I wouldn't keep watching it. But I'm still really smarting from episode 13, I think it was. Like, that hurt my feelings. Took away a lot of the potential for me and just threw it out the window.
It definitely did. I feel like it kind of the season kind of petered out, and then just the 1-2 with just introducing the Constitution and the Enterprise way too early. I mean, obviously, I'm going to keep watching it when it comes back in 3 years or something.
I mean, what are they going to do next? Is he just going to be in the pilot? They meet the Enterprise and have a little adventure, and then they go back and do their own thing. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know where they go from this.
That's really
now they've peaked. They got to the because they said it at the same time as TOS-ish.
Well, I mean, they're not going to
so they could have the cameo of the Enterprise at some point. You know, they could slowly build up to it. You know, they have Mudd and they have Sarek, and they might have a young, no, not Spock. Well,
you can have a young Spock.
Was already on the press, but
yeah,
they were leading up. You know, they could lead up to it and slowly have all those things, and then they just at the end of season 1, they just go to the very top of the mountain.
I honestly,
the biggest canon reference they could do, and just put the Enterprise in it.
I honestly just think it'll be like a 1-episode deal, because I mean, it's not like Kirk's over there yet. You know, they'll hang out with Spock.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna last longer than like 1 or 2 episodes, but I still didn't want them to do it because then now they have nothing left.
I guess.
What's the big canon thing? I mean, they're gonna accidentally sport jump to TNG time, meet up with the Enterprise there as well.
Well,
no, I don't know.
It's for the creative team to worry about. I mean, is it going to be made by the same people?
I assume so.
It's more fun with these Star Wars movies because it's sort of like, you know, Rian Johnson makes this fucking out there Star Wars movie that nobody can agree on, and then they say he handballs it back to J.J. Abrams. Like, okay, big boy, see what you. I like to see how you write your way out of this one, pussy. Like,
well, okay. If we're going to talk about Star Wars for a second,
just for a second, because there's something else I want to play on the.
I think. J.J. Abrams left Rian Johnson in a bit of a pickle, and then Rian Johnson very graciously gave J.J. like a big open field.
I think it's the other way around. I think J.J. left him the most obvious starting point, and if you give it to another director, it would have been a very obvious movie where Luke, you know, goes.
Well, see, that's the thing. He gives him the obvious point where it's like, okay, you have to start with Luke and Rey on the planet.
Yeah.
You have to explain why Luke is on the planet. looking old and disheveled. Yeah, you have to do all these things. And so, to not make it the very obvious movie that he could have made, he subverted the expectations. And then people hate him for it. But now, Rian Johnson has said, he's basically said there's going to be a time jump because Leia has to die and the young Force kids have to grow up or something. You know, just do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, basically he has a few years maybe between the films, and then JJ can just do whatever he wants. There's no very strict Luke's on an island and Rey found him, you know.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Because he has to explain why Luke's on an island, and he can't just have, you know, you. I mean, this doesn't really matter because this movie's 3 months old, but you have Rey giving him the lightsaber. Did people want the movie to start with Luke grabbing the lightsaber and going, my old lightsaber. Yeah, I will teach you how to be a Jedi. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I think it's less a case of them wanting that and more just that's what they thought was going to happen.
Yeah, well, and then it didn't happen. Now everyone's mad.
Yeah, well, people don't like being second guessed, I think.
As I said, it's 2 months old. Nobody cares anymore. But
David, you sent me a video today, and I don't know how'd you find it. I just want to get some explanation on the Star Trek OG trailer that you sent me.
It was in a Star Trek thread somewhere on Reddit.
I just want to press play on this thing, and I'll probably put some clips up on the screen as it plays, just in post, and take care of that.
What I really love about this, is that, you know, he's introducing. You can probably play it over the top while I'm saying this.
Yeah.
He's introducing the ship first off. It's one of those. I think it's the Prometheus class or something like it. Yeah. At least where it splits into 3 ships. Very cool. You know, it's very different to what we've had in normal Star Trek shows. Yeah. And then he starts introducing his dream cast. And, you know, you've got your big burly men like...
David, how many people are usually in a main cast on Star Trek? 7 people, maybe?
7 or 8 people.
Yeah. How many actors did they, nominate for in this...
I mean, Chris Pratt's there, Jennifer Lawrence is there. It's a nice reunion for the passengers.
I haven't counted it. I haven't counted it yet, but it's gonna be.
There's about 50 cast members, and half of them are naked ladies, and half of them are cat people.
I do love this.
Outlawed and alienated.
The little narration, outlawed and alienated. Is he trying to be Picard or something?
By Starfleet Command.
I don't know, but he's obviously foreign. I think he did a great job.
And let's skip ahead to the actual cast. The ship splits into 3. That's very impressive. It's got a nacelle on the top.
Very good, yes.
Maybe that's why he has so many people on the ships, because it's 3 ships, 3 crews.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to kind of cut it short because people just came home.
Oh, really quick.
There's going to be a barrage of people coming in a second.
Oh, God. But I want to show you Mark Dacascos and Mark Ning-Wen playing the same character.
Let's wrap it up right now. You can put little bits of it at the end.
Jim Caviezel, Kiefer Sutherland, Keira Knightley, Idris Elba.
Anyway, we're done. Thank you for watching. Are we doing it next? Look, I'm moving house.
Natalie Dormer. I just want to say one more thing. I love how most of the cast is just women that I want to sleep with. It's almost like I made it.
It's like you made it, yeah.
I also found out what it is. Do you actually know why this video exists?
No.
It's a team written roleplay thing. You know, everybody writes a bit of the show. It's a fan fiction thing.
So it's like 100 people.
So now you know what it is. It makes a tiny bit more sense. I just love the crew has 30 people. Okay, anyway. We'll see you next time. We'll be doing what? Yep. TOS? When do you want to do that?
Maybe not next week because I'm moving house. So I might be busy. We might have a week break or something.
Okay, alright.
A strong break.
Is that really Natalie Dormer's butt?
But
Gillian Anderson.
Okay, I gotta go, Scotty.
Alright, bye guys.
Thanks for watching this show. Catch you later.
I don't fuck the hell out of Bella Thorne.